yes, today is a day I could take pain for cheese, but maybe a different day is no, and it would be important to know. Um, yeah. Anyway, how's everyone
Always
doing?
got to do the cheese check.
Gotta be aware of your cheese intake. How's everyone doing this week?
Good.
Pretty good.
It didn't rain on my way home from Gloomhaven, so that was good.
It's good.
Nice.
That is good.
A
It
little less
definitely
gloomy.
was raining. Yeah. Definitely was raining while we were playing, so it's raining hard while we were playing.
There were many puddles.
Yeah. Sick. Well, okay. We nailed it. Last week, traipsed around the station a bit, but more just like narratively checked in with each other and the station and decided that this is the time. We know like what problems arise, but with more people comes more ability to research. So we have triggered the beacon and placed it in the plains. Placed it in the plains. We know that they are preparing the station and they will take off. The estimated arrival time was about 2 weeks till they will be crashing into the planet. And with that in mind, we returned to, I imagine, the observation bay, because that just is like the most calm place at the moment that we know of. So what do you folks want to do in this 2 weeks to prepare? Is there any extra study? Is there any extra research? Is there any... Because it sounded like we wanted to do 2 weeks of, this prep work for us and like what that means for us in our area, but I'm curious as to what that looks like for each of you in this 2 weeks. Does anyone have a
Great question.
thought on
Yeah,
this?
I mean, I can jump in on this.
Yeah.
I think Ola's first big priority is to try and figure out how to get creation from the wreckage of whatever, of like when this ship comes down, whatever it looks like when it lands. I assume not good or livable. To get creation up into this new space station and maybe figure out, maybe creation can tell the station to let go. In for a penny, in for a pound with this, with our new techno overlord.
Retrofit our ship for transporting our guy.
I also sort of wonder about, like, they're not going to be able to live in the ship anymore, right? Like, once it's landed, that's not going to be a space you can live in.
We'll be able to transplant it into transplant. We'll be able to transform it into livable dwellings.
I imagine that the material, while blown apart, is usable for building material, like sheets of steel plus and, varied things like that. So there might be like a Fallout style city able to be built, small town able to be built, because it's very large station. Lots of, plate metal to break down and turn into dwelling, like walls and such.
We know about welding.
Well, then maybe Cola's also like trying to clear some land somewhere. Just as like a base camp, set up a tent. You know what a tent is? Kind of a spot
Yes,
for
I
all
know
of
what
the
a tent
people who
is.
aren't expecting to crash into a planet real soon.
Yeah, where do you want to do that in comparison to where you have set this beacon? I have a little grid in my mind and up physically on my computer, but it would take a while to share you guys on it and get it pulled up and etc. So it's more just a conceptual grid for this, in which the beacon is in the middle of a
Safely far away.
yeah. The beacon's in the middle of a plains area. We don't have much more of the area defined around that. So that could be what you spend your 2 weeks doing, sort of surveying the land and getting an idea of what's in the area. You could set up a base camp at some point on this grid, safely far away, north or south away, and be prepared to accept that. That's a totally cool thing. I'm just, spitballing ideas
I
based
think
off of all that.
I think Cola's 2 weeks. I've decided he's gonna do is he's sort of gonna make a pilgrimage from the beacon site to the space station. Um, or at least far enough away towards the space station that he can find a spot to clear some area and say he did something for the people who crashed.
Look, I
And then
participated.
I participated. Hey, ship, can you come pick me up and then take me the rest of the way to the space station? uh, I think that's sort of the idea.
Yeah, you guys have
He's
chosen a
hoping that we
spot
can just
that's
get creation aboard the ship.
yeah, I mean, to get creation aboard the ship, you're either going to have to travel halfway around the planet, a quarter of the way around the planet, because you have chosen the furthest point from space station arms to set this beacon. So you'll have to either travel just like on land over there and figure out how to get that distance up onto the station, or you can get him, detached from the wreckage of the Delta and onto your ship and fly him up there. You know that your ship is going to be working, but that you have a limited amount of fuel. You don't really know what is going to be usable aboard the Delta.
Well,
We
then
need to
them's are the
have
risks.
we need to
Yes.
have every ship aboard the Delta exit the Delta as soon as it gets out of faster than light travel.
It's not a bad idea.
Just as many people in the know. We just need to get them on as many ships as possible. Just loaded with like things that explode and fuel and things we desperately don't want to just be crashing into the savannah.
I
They've got
think
2 weeks.
yeah, that I would at least maybe posit that some of your time could be spent like preparing the Delta with like extra info that they would need,
I've got a two-parter, I
like
think.
getting the communication lines going to see what lists they need. Um, while thinking about all of this, I mean, all of this is going to start to build out a map and a play space and a resource list and all these other things for a future thing. So, yes, just do be aware. That decisions
Doobie.
do be. Okay, so Cola, you said you're trekking off to try to build a little campsite, sort of
Mm-hmm.
a secondary community placement where they can go. I like this. Um,
Yeah, just a first step for them.
yeah, are you being dropped off by your ship at the like beacon site and then like pilgrimage walking it? I think you said that.
I did say that. Honestly, I don't mind if the ship drops me off in the safe zone and I can just sort of get to work.
Okay, if you're being dropped off by the ship in the safe zone, then you kind of have an option of area that you could be in. As far as the roughest
Okay.
layout goes, Beacon is in the center of a plains-like area. Small rises and falls to the landscape surround it. About 100 miles in either direction, east and west, are your hellscapes. West frozen, east um burning, right? On fire, basically. hot. About 100 miles to the north, we begin seeing like woodland begin to crop up before a forest comes. Um, since you're the first one checking out this landscape, what biome is to the south 100 miles?
That one.
Is it
Hmm?
is it coast? Is
Uh,
it Rocky Mountains? Is it
I
islands?
I think it's gonna be like a scrubby alpine up into mountains, like a pine forest that goes up the side of some steep mountains.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that. We have forest to the north and we have alpine woods to mountains to the south. With that in mind, where do you think you are put down? You have some choices.
The flattest place.
Yeah, I mean that would be the plains clearly, but are you just trying to be put down in the plains? Do you have resources? Are you going to
I guess
collect
then maybe
resources from one of these
the
wooded
closest
areas?
the
One
closest
shovel.
river maybe in the safe zone
Okay.
would be a good spot to be.
Okay, I have
I'm
the
just
Alp.
gonna try and clear like a 50-foot circle. I can probably do that in 2 weeks. That seems doable.
With one hand.
Oh, well, maybe. We still don't really know what this other hand does. It could be the best tree cutting hand we've ever seen.
This is my terraforming
You have used it
wrist.
accidentally
I used it
already.
to thunk a dude on the head.
Yeah,
Shh,
it
just
gave a
shoot it
blow
into
up.
the ground.
It gave a blow up when you did that.
Okay, well, maybe I also try punching trees.
Yeah.
They'll blow up.
Yeah. All right. So I've placed a river here to the south since you built or since you created the idea of river. I put it coming out of this alpine woods. So down from the mountains, across the sort of southeast corner of the plains and off of a little cliff's edge into the burning wastelands where it doesn't last much longer after it hits. There's a small shallow pool at the bottom of that cliff's edge. But not it doesn't go further than that, but it seems far enough away from the place you've put your beacon, if you know that is indeed where it is to hit. That is nestled up amongst the edge of this river leading into the woods, giving you, access to wood. It's flat because you're in the plains and the river water for however you want to run that. Um, yeah, and your team drops you off there and you get to work. Are you clearing out some of this wood? Are you doing anything with this wood? Are you just like clearing brush and moving rocks? Like what does this look like for Kola? How does he prepare this space for?
Pola is pretty organized, I think, about it. Pola is like moving all the rocks into a pile of rocks and cutting up all of the wood into different sizes of wood, and then maybe he's making a path with the rocks. Um, as he's clearing stuff, he's like, "This is going to be where we keep the food," and makes a rock path. This is going to be where we, I don't know, weave tapestries of our great deeds, and he makes another rock path.
Okay, okay. Begins laying sort of a
It's literally
blueprint
just like the
foundation.
the basics of basics.
Yeah, like a
You
blueprint on the
know, I
ground.
if I crash onto a planet, I think the worst thing to hear on the day that you climbed out of your planet is, "Hey, now you have to set up your own campsite."
That is that
I
that I
used to
mean
live in a spaceship. Now I
Now you
have
have
to
to
Feels
set
set
up
up your
camp.
own place where we leave tapestries.
this is
Mhm.
true.
So someone else is going to set camp for them because that's the least I can do.
All right. All right. Begin to set camp down to the south slight west or sorry, slight east of this area. Okay. While Kola is down there clearing brush, moving stone, and creating a basic blueprint for a town, beginning to prep that. Does anyone else have a pre- preparatory action in 2 weeks? Does anyone want to survey more of the land? We could always develop out more of this. Does anyone want to collect supplies? Learn about the
So
nearby star map?
So
Slippy
remind me.
he has a couple of ideas. One of them, he's going to spend a little bit of time. We can go over this later. He wants to spend a little bit of time helping the Dawn, figure out what kind of like escape vessels we can launch with supplies and like what are the things that we need to protect from this crash. Because we only have so many people that know. I'm sure that we'll only be able to get so many ships to do this. So we need to figure out. We need to just call a meeting and you know divvy that up. Decide what is most important for what they're coming into. Anyway, the other thing that Slippy wants to do is Slippy is going to go and survey the land and do some hunting of the local wildlife. Because if Carissa did get his email, he does want to sort of look very, masculine, like a provider. He's going to be salting the meats and um, preparing the game for the village. He's a provider. At least that's the image that he wants to portray.
What was in the email? I feel like I need to know what was in the email so I can know
I'm pretty
if
sure.
she got
I'm
it.
pretty sure I said what was in the email.
Did you?
I think I did. I don't
Okay.
remember now.
Okay. Well, I'm almost to that
It
episode
was
in
pretty
editing
classic
anyway, so I
Slippy
think.
stuff. It was pretty classic Slippy stuff.
Okay.
Carissa, on again, off again,
Okay.
Relationship.
are you coming? Are you up?
Oh yeah, I do remember you saying that you sent her an email.
I remember him talking about sending the email. I just don't remember any sort of content about what's in it.
That was about as much detail of content as we got then too.
Okay. Okay. I think that meeting is easy to be had. Like that idea to be given out. Like those who can know should take a ship with important things being. Okay, what is that list? What are give me your in order of most importance, 5 most important things that they should like their 5 most important focuses.
Ship fuel. Because we want to have fuel for the ships that will be able to survive the crash.
Ship fuel.
Number 2, tools. We need the tools that will be difficult to replace. We're talking machinery. We're talking fabrication devices.
Okay.
We're talking good hammers like the one that Slippy had in a previous episode. Number 3, cooking things like burners and you gotta have cups, water purification shit, etc. What am I on? Was that 3?
That was
Are we
3.
on 4?
Yep.
Okay, number 4. Books for the children. Gotta have books for the children. Because if there's nothing to entertain the children, then everyone else is gonna have a bad time.
Books.
So we're talking Playmobil. We're talking Mega Blocks. We're talking
Okay.
Berenstein Bears.
Okay.
And number 5, big number 5. This one is actual food. This is just immediate consumption devices. This is clean water and long lasting food.
Rations. Okay. Okay. I have that list. We'll see how that goes. You are we'll just do this for first part, like as Gabe gets, or as Hayakola gets dropped down in this little river nestled amongst the beginnings of an alpine wood, and he gets to work on this. Slippy is back on the station beginning these talks. This is the beginning of these 2 weeks.
Does that sound good, everybody? Is that a good list? I don't know. I feel like I lost it about halfway through.
No, that's okay. When you hit 3 and you didn't realize that you had 2 more to go, it was hard to get, but
I thought I had the good stuff already front loaded.
that's, I mean, it is good stuff. I'm glad you included food as a narrow fifth. Narrowly avoiding that situation for sure. Carl, BBW, do you have any ideas on ways to check out, I don't know, either a
Yeah.
nearby area, resources, factions,
Oh,
anything
I
like
Are we
that?
starting a colony or? Are we starting a colony or something?
Basically.
Yeah, yes. So the ship is going
What
to,
Jonestown's like.
yeah, basically so creation, we can do a little backdrop on this. Creation has shown sort of categorically that the Delta Dawn, really the Invasive Species Committee arm of the Delta, or not the Delta Dawn, but the back Atmos star system, is a very repressive and racist organization that uses its power to do both of those things, cause racisms and oppression. And that, the back of that society is sort of built on their classifications of different species we come up against and how they use those species to like further their goals. We didn't really like any of this, and so I mean, options wise, we had to sort of assault the back Atmos society in some way, save maybe a couple different races, or escape with what we knew and loved and make that a safe place. So we decided to escape, and what we've discovered through the researches and the computer shit and all the stuff we've been doing is that the only way to get off of their radar is to shut the system down as it resets after a crash. And so it is that's why we've decided on this planet, is because it is livable somewhat,
And crashable.
and not within the realm of the back Atmos star society or a star system at the moment. So yes, like we are planning this is the location of where the Delta will be crashing ish on this planet in this general area. But this is a good time to prepare what we can, be that like maybe trying to understand this big space station a little bit more, or its contents, or its resources, or discovering a little bit about the star map around us. Be that, are there planets around us? Are there other things? We haven't done that kind of, exploratory search. Just sort of any kind of thing you think would be helpful, or that the community should be focused on in this upcoming big life-changing event for them.
I
Yeah.
see.
Carl had plans to start, since this is a new environment with a new biosphere, basically, going around and kind of collecting all the different plant life he can find, and getting together a group to help with this, if possible. So that way, when the ship gets here, our research department can go over them, see what's edible, what's lethal, what's stuff we can use to help us build, what's familiar, what's new.
I love this. I love
It
this.
sounds like you,
Give old lady Weathers lots to do.
Slippy and Carl could both go out in the wilderness, collect samples, and hunt wildlife.
Yeah, it sounds like so. Along with that, Carl, let's see. Or I guess Lily, not Carl. Okay. Since I mean this research will be done in post. What is one dangerous plant in the area, and what does it do? In any form or fact, it could be dangerous like a poison ivy, it could be like a poisonous berry, it could be really, I mean, it
You
could be
know,
anything.
Cattails?
Cattails, like the things that look like hot dogs?
Yeah, how like on impact they like rapidly expand.
Yeah.
Those, except tiny needles.
Oh,
So when they rapidly expand, it's potentially deadly.
Oh no. Okay, needle
you know we have to
cattails.
live here, right?
No, I mean that was supposed to be the dangerous one, needle
Pick it up.
cattails.
We have cacti, and they're not a fucking problem, Lawrence. Come on.
They are a problem. Have you ever like touched a cactus? We tried to
I'm
pick
from
cactus fruits,
Phoenix,
and
Arizona.
that's fair.
They're not that much of a problem.
That's fair. They're not.
They're pretty problematic.
They're only
I don't know.
problematic
As soon
if
as you
you're a
get off the
tourist.
trail, they're a problem.
They're only problematic
Yeah.
if you're a tourist.
Don't forget
That's
about the
fair.
dumb, everybody.
Yeah. The dumb. Okay, so we have a dangerous plant. What is one medicinal plant, and how does it what does it remedy?
It's a different cattail that looks the same.
Sorry, I had a weird
Damn
audio
it.
issue. What was that?
Oh, I said what is one medicinal plant, and what does it remedy?
Medicinal plant, and what does it remedy?
Stomachache, flu, blindness.
I was gonna say blindness.
I mean, if
Cactus
it
needle
I don't know
pain.
that it cures blindness, but maybe it aids. Maybe it
It's
can
like
help.
a root that, when ground up, can cure several forms of blindness.
Okay.
How do we find that out?
Grinding it up.
Exactly.
I mean,
Look for one drug one time, and I could see.
Job.
All right, the cocaine root. Heard.
I just assume that anyone who's blind just kind of puts whatever they find in there to see if it helps. I would.
I would.
Is this any better?
That's why the Daredevil's
No.
so scary as a
That just
superhero. After he
hurts.
kicks your ass, he tries something new to put in his eyes. I guess. Ground root helps blindness. Love it. And then lastly, like a main source of nutrition in vegetable in the area. It could be a vegetable, a fruit, a plant, some valuable source of nutrition in the flora section.
I think that we go out to cut down one of the multiple types of trees that we're unfamiliar with in the area one of these days, and we go to swing the axe, and whoever's cutting it down, and it just kind of goes like halfway into the tree, because it is a very soft tree with like a meaty interior. Not quite like a giant mushroom, but like a little bit harder than that.
Okay. Trees with
Edible trees. Whole forest of food.
edible
Flesh. The edible tree.
edible meat inside. I'm gonna put meat in quotes because it's not.
I believe it is called meat.
But yeah.
It's
I just
not
don't.
meat, but it is
The concept
meat.
of rotten meat.
Yeah,
in
but,
trees is horrid. Is horrid.
It's just a meat tree.
It's a meat tree. Okay, a meat tree.
Just as a counter argument.
Meat tree. Meat tree.
Dante, what does BBW get up to in the beginning of this time?
See, I heard mentions of like tool making and stuff. And I figure since BBW is not like a hard labor kind of person, robot, he doesn't like go out and hunt. He's definitely a party robot that likes to adventure through. He's gonna make the tools that are necessary and provide all the snacks needed.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like he would like help around everywhere.
Okay. I mean, I think that that is a valuable addition to the team. Talk to me about what you think the three most important tools that BBW can make are, or like having, a surplus of these tools for the community to use.
Ooh. And this would be
It's not
or
necessarily an ability. It's not necessarily
oh
on your character sheet. It's just what do you think that BBW like what tools do you think BBW could do or be a part of making? I mean, I truly think any tool. It's just really about what
yeah,
tool you think is like what three tools do you think are most important to have a surplus of, basically.
I think a first thing for sure a pickaxe, one very strong pickaxe.
Classic.
Something to break stone apart with.
Indeed.
Okay. Okay.
For hunting and capturing berries and stuff, like a net gun.
Catching berries with a net gun. I like that.
Exactly. If you have a net gun with a harpoon, something like that.
Net gun with a harpoon, yes.
I'm not sure what a third one could be, but he needs some way of gathering materials for himself, so I'm sure he would need like a scoop of some sort.
A scoop. A scoop of
You know, he
some
probably
sort.
already has a scooper.
100%.
Do you feel that could sit as a shovel? Do you feel that could
No, not
sit
not scoop
as
enough.
not scoop enough? Um so I boiled these down one into stone breakers because I'm thinking about like in this case how you're crafting these tools. I think that you could probably craft some form of like hard object to smash rock with easily. We could just call them pickaxes. Doesn't really matter. As far as the net guns, I don't know that we have guns to like repurpose into net guns, but you could focus time on making traps that you could use vines and shit as the rope for nets. You can do pitfalls, you can do like spike traps, we can get like real primal with it because like that's the kind of planet that we're on, right? This planet doesn't have space travel on its own. All of the excess technology here is either on this big space station or being brought by the Delta's crash.
Yeah, in fact, I think we know that this place probably wouldn't have developed space travel.
Yeah, yes, you know that it was
Via
assumed that
science.
they wouldn't. Yeah.
Mhm.
So traps, I thought that kind of like resulted in that because like you can hunt with traps, you can protect yourself with traps, you can do loads there with traps.
Yeah.
As far as a scoop goes, what does that sit for you? What is this like if you're making a surplus of these tools, what does that do for the community? If it is like
Wait, is
oftentimes
that what I'm
BBW
doing? Oh,
that's
shit.
yeah. Yeah, man.
Oh, then
We're
not
spending
everybody
our
needs a scooper.
No, not everyone needs a scooper. This
Scoopers
is
are
like what
very
the
specific tool.
yeah. Yes, yes. It could fit into BBW's play to make a thing that,
Mhm.
make a bunch of scoops that only he would use and maybe someone else finds a purpose in them, but it, maybe they can be hand shovels or maybe they could be something else.
Mm.
It could be maybe like some form of like containers. Maybe there's a clay near the river. You can do like pottery. You can make like, you know, to store water, to store, I don't know, foods in dark enclosed containers.
Definitely could use more storage.
Is that anything? Is that something? Is that
I
anything for
think
you?
I'm not so sure.
Okay.
You know what? By the river, though, BBW could be making his own little crop farm. So maybe he would want to make tools to help others like make crops.
Preparing like farmland?
Yeah.
I like that. And farming implements. Okay. Okay. So then I think instead of like traps and pickaxes, it's farmland that you're preparing. Okay. Farmland. I like that. I like that. And then you're preparing like farm implements, right? Like farm tools, hoes, shovels. God, if I knew more about farming. Those are the only tools
Uh,
I know, but you make them.
Backhoes,
The backhoe.
tractor,
the backhoes to the backmost, or specifically not the backmost.
the track Atmos tour.
Okay, I like that. I like that. A little prep of farm work, not far to the since we're like right up on the river, not far to the west of where Cola is preparing this little community space for buildings to begin to be able to be made. Okay, that feels like a good start to this. We've begun exploring this area a little bit. We've discovered a little bit of the flora and fauna. I liked Lawrence splitting it up into a second option, especially because in that so like we can imagine that's week 1, with Lawrence's extra prep work on the station. They have begun sort of the final lockdown procedures. They're now informing the station. They're now like locking down rooms. In a few days, they will be jumping into Lightspeed. FTL. And yes. And so as Slippy has as Slippy is done sort of helping the station prepare with what they find important or what they think will be important, he's now going to go check out some animals in the nearby area. Okay. So talk to me about the most dangerous predator in the area. This thing is dangerous. Not the most dangerous in terms of I'm not actually scared of it, but a dangerous predator in the area.
Yeah, so it is it's a giant sloth. We have them here. It's probably one of the most aggressive predators on the planet. We call them drop bears because they do in fact
Not the
drop
bears.
from sloth position.
Dude, that is terrifying. If you're not prepared, that the like a how much does a bear weigh? Like 300 pounds? Bigger?
More than
More.
that, for sure.
Yeah.
600.
Brown bear like 300 pounds. Brown bears are small. These are bigger than that.
Yay, only 600 pounds dropping on me. The end of my life for sure. Okay, drop bear. I like drop bears. Okay.
If you hear the thump, that's a good thing.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
you've
get-
lived past the most dangerous part.
He makes a point.
I guess it is more dangerous to have it drop atop you, but you are not by any mean out of danger. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, the drop bear. I'm in love with a drop bear. Do the drop bears exist in both of these woodlands, and are they different? The alpine woods.
Yeah, there's a purple drop bear and there's a green drop bear. The green ones are better because they are smaller. And they also yell as they're coming down. The other ones are completely silent.
Well, okay, the screaming drop bears.
How do they yell? We need the sound clip.
Okay. I may or may not cut that sound clip.
Okay.
Anyway, are okay, then which the screaming drop bears, do those exist in the southern woods or the northern woods? The mountain woods or the wood woods?
Which ones is closer to the unlivable area?
Neither, but I'll say that Gabe is creating a townlit area near the south woods.
Green Southwoods.
The screaming ones, okay.
Yep.
Screaming drop bear alpine woods. Good. Green. Love it. Okay, now talk to me about an animal in this area that is a good source of nutrition, like, you know, easy to hunt, or a lot of them, or we only need one, they provide a lot of meat, whatever that is.
These are one of the most rapidly reproducing animals in the whole ecosystem. They are, it sort of looks like a Pac-Man, like a little ball of flesh that is a mouth, and then it's got rabbit legs that come off of it.
Pack rabbit?
And there's just there's tons of them.
That.
There's just tons of them everywhere.
Pac-Man shaped rabbits.
Everywhere that you can, like you lift up a rock and there's 6 of them underneath there. You lift up a log, there's 12 more.
And what color are they?
It's flesh colored.
The last ones were purple, so it's important to know.
It is important.
Pac-Man's
To know.
yellow, so like
These are just flesh colored, of varying tones.
What do you mean
Varying
flesh
tones.
colored? Our flesh colored.
You know how like
Arl's
Sphinx cats
flesh
look?
isn't peach.
It's
Sphinx
like a
cats,
sphinx.
yeah.
It's like a sphinx cat's flesh.
Sort of pinkish.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
it goes down to like a dark gray.
Pink to dark gray. Gross, and I don't want to hunt them, but I will if I have to.
There are just so many of them. They're not hard to hunt. You can hunt them with your fists.
Do
if
they
you
taste
really
good?
want
Are we
to.
talking like rabbit in all other, like, in terms of like taste, cooking, etc.?
Yeah, except the ball is the best part.
The ball is all of the part.
No, because the legs. You eat the legs on the rabbit.
Okay. Yeah,
You don't eat the ball on the rabbit. There's no ball.
Depending on the rabbit you catch. Dumb. Okay. And then name. So while you've been out here, you've, you know, been dealing with giant sloths and probably a verisimilitude of other animals and insects and etc. Actually, I'm gonna have you name 2 more. One, name a insect and what it does, whether it's poisonous, annoying, swarming. Ooh.
We have noticed that there is a type of beetle that feeds on like ore deposits. So like they're eating metal from the
Ooh,
earth.
or eating that fucking blows. We're bringing metal. Or eating beetle. Okay, I hate that. Okay.
Yeah, so that could be a problem, but we don't notice like large swarms of them. It's only ever singular beetles.
Okay. And actually, as Dante, you said you were giving everyone else a hand after that. So in the moment in which you're giving Slippy a hand, you're helping him catalog the beetles and the differences in the giant sloths. You see a creature.
That one's pink. That one's green.
You see a creature just once, and you try to point it out to Slippy, but it's gone. And in the rest of the week, you're still trying to like find it again, but it seems as if you can't see it again. A rare creature of some kind. What rare creature exists in this area? And like,
Oh goodness.
You know, what is its specialty? What makes it
What's its special
special or rare?
skill?
You know, like a unicorn. You see I don't know, that feels special or
The
rare.
unicorns are great at taxes.
That kind of situation.
It's like a coyote with the head of a chicken.
Ugh.
Okay, a coyote
chicory.
with a chicote.
And it
A
has
chicken Cody.
several rows of teeth.
Chicote. Okay. Chicken.
Y'all
Tell you
watch
what,
out
I
for
don't
that
love
chicken
this.
Cody out there. He's got several rows of teeth.
Why don't you love this? What's wrong with chicken Cody, Gabe?
Okay. I
I
love
just
that.
don't like I wouldn't like a duck weasel either. I'm just not a huge fan of bird heads on
Diesel.
yeah, I'm not here for a diesel. Bird heads on mammal bodies. That's interesting.
Scary.
That's strange.
Okay.
Where do the feathers stop and where does the hair start?
Yep.
Good
Important
question.
questions.
It's all feathers.
All
all
feathers. Like a
Oh,
mini
gross.
griffin without wings? That
Feathers
sucks.
all the way down.
All right. All feathers. Okay.
Thanks, I hate it.
What's like one special thing with it? Like it can
What's
fly,
one
it can go
special thing?
invisible, it can eat something whole, it can go invisible, it can make its bark sound like something else.
It can unhinge its jaw like a snake.
Fucking
That's its
the
special-
worst. When I
special
okay, so I think on par with the horror of a drop bear, just less common. Unhinge. I
Definitely.
love it.
And thank goodness it's less common.
Unhinge.
And sometimes it doesn't do it to eat; it just does it.
I don't like that.
Oh
So
no.
the thing might just be friggin' like dragging its jaw across with it.
Not only do I never see this, I'm always going to see that.
And I'm pleased I didn't. Oh Jesus. Okay. Gabe, near the end of that first week, Hyatt Cola has laid out a good foundation for this this town. What does he want to spend the rest of his time doing? Does he want to spend the rest of his time like beginning to build these foundations, or explore deeper into some woods, or think about categorizing the ores or the river life? What does that look like? Following the river? I don't know.
Is everybody else like categorizing their findings and doing all of their stuff and then going back up onto the ship? Like, where is everyone sleeping during this time?
On the ship.
I mean, that's a good question. Have you been sleeping in the wilderness, Cola?
Slippy
Yeah.
has crafted a rudimentary dwelling in order to impress Carissa.
Yeah,
The
Slippy's.
meat trees are really easy to hollow out for war.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine there's been a little bit of interaction, like BBW worked on the farm area right near your land, right? So I imagine that you two planned out like where that farm spot would be, and you know, every now and then help each other out during that first week. BBW's, you know, his second week, so you can go back to the ship. I think, you know, you're at some point someone could have come picked you up at the end of this week.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep working. I think my whole 2 weeks, if anyone tells me about useful stuff, I'll try and incorporate it into my construction. But
Okay.
I'm basically just gonna start building frames of houses. I don't no one is here to tell me whose houses are what,
Yeah.
but I'm making them.
Okay, then I think just to see if there's any extra thing that could help with that discovery is discovered, we'll come back to that and talk about like maybe the most important buildings that you get done beyond a few houses. Carl, you have spent a lot of this time categorizing the flora of the area. Is there anything else you would like to check out? Or do you want to spend a little bit more time categorizing a little bit more flora.
I think probably continue on what he's doing. There's gotta.
Oh no, I lost him right when he's right
There's
right
gotta.
right when she said it. There's got him.
Got him good.
Got him good. Savage. You're
21.
back. Okay, yeah, I heard you say I think keep categorizing and then you disappeared.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, it's a whole planet, so like, there's got to be plenty of stuff to find.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Then let's get a little bit more in depth on this flora. Talk to me about. There's a plant in the area that actually sort of like we got with like broccoli, right? The broccoli plant has like 4 edible parts
Yeah,
or something like that.
broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels
sprout.
sprouts.
Rotini,
Yeah. So talk to me about a
Kale
plant.
also one of those.
I think so. Yeah.
Columbo.
Talk to me about a plant that has multiple uses, one of which is bad or has multiple parts. You know what I mean? Like maybe the seed is poisonous, or just the flower is bad and it gives
You
upset
can use it as a
tummy,
fart
or
cannon.
maybe it mimics death, or it causes blindness, or it something. Part of it is negative, but the other parts of it are positive. And what are those and how?
There is a bush that has berries that are poisonous if you eat them straight because the seeds are poisonous. But if you, it's really nutritious if you just like mash it into a like a kind of a wine and just sift it because you get all of the seeds out and
Okay.
don't have to worry about missing any. The roots of the plant are also good with medicinal value. They like a skin salve kind of an aloe of
Roots
sorts.
are medicinal for skin. Aloe. Love it. Okay. Talk to me about a plant that the animals are seen eating a lot in the area. Maybe these pack rabbits. What do the pack rabbits eat on?
Ghost.
Jesus.
I think that there's a high in protein strain of grass that a lot of these small woodland creatures specifically eat.
Is it noticeably different than the other grasses around it? Is it taller, bushier, a different color?
It
Meteor.
rather than just like just green what stalks? What is it? Is that
Blades?
blades? Yeah, I guess. Rather than just green blades, they tend to have yellow streaks going up the blades as well.
I like it. Okay. 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 I like that. BBW. You come across, I think it's much in that same vein. You come across while you're out with Kaarl looking to categorize these plants, you come across a special plant. It is the only one that you've seen in the area. It seems to be a rare growing plant. What is it? And what's special about it for us? What special use does it have, either negative or positive?
Okay. It looks a lot like poison ivy, except it's much more blue. So it's like like a green bluer tint, and it actually gives you really good skin. So it's a very good pain relief kind of thing, almost like aloe vera, but
Okay,
it
so
looks
the
a lot
people
like
in this
poison ivy.
area have really great skin because there's a lot of skin remedies. I like that. Another skin medicine. Love it. All right. Cool. Okay. Cola, in this time you're able to build up a few dwelling houses, but you're also able to put in some work on another house that you think will be pretty important to the community, another building of some kind. What building is this?
I think Ola has decided uh, that maybe Cola got a sunburn today. Maybe Cola got a sunburn the other day. He's like,
Boy, do we
you
have
know
some
what?
plans for you.
You know what? I I don't like this. And I think that at least some of the people on the ship right now also don't like this. So Cola has also dug out like a pit, basically. His plan is to turn it into like an underground community center. But for the moment, it's a hole in the ground.
Big deep hole in the
He's
ground.
big deep hole in the ground. He's working on a roof. He has
Love it.
gotten more sunburned since he started this project.
I love that. I love
Um,
that.
he's also constructed for himself like a gorilla nest, just like a huge like maybe in a tree if he can find a good tree, but maybe also just on the ground. There's like trees and leaves and sticks. And this is where he's been sleeping.
Yeah, okay. Okay. BBW, during this time you've been helping Cola out a little bit with these buildings. What building did you throw hands on to help build up? Um, special community action building of some kind. Houses for sure got put up. Cola's working on an underground community center that provides good, cool space.
Definitely an eatery of some sort. Something that will serve food to community.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Hmm.
fun.
Like a Viking mead hall kind of like a long hall with big table kind of situation, or are we talking like
That sounds
McDonald's.
good. Sure, it wouldn't be
Like
like a
that, like a
diner or
longhouse.
something. Long community meat hall. That sounds good.
sick? Okay, let's see. Buildings. We have the sort of blueprint lines or foundation lines laid. We have some residences. What you have completed some of these residences. To what quality do you think that Cola and BBW have worked together to complete a few of these residences? Let's say on like a scale of 1 to 5, like what kind of quality do you think they are? 5 being the best.
Want to call it a scale of 1 to 6 and have me roll for it?
Sure, yeah, you can get a
I'll use
plus
the help.
yeah, BBW can give you a help action on that.
All right, 1d6. 1d6 for the quality of these houses. That's a 5. We built some good
I
houses.
did. I got a 4 for the help.
You rolled 1d6 on that, BBW,
I
I
did.
imagine?
Yeah.
No, no.
Yes.
Okay, so then yeah, I mean
Yeah.
a 5 to a 6 in the realm. I'll say that you probably completed 3 of them to that like really nice quality, and they could sleep up to, we'll say, 10 people. You wouldn't want to house 10 people in them, right? Because that's just super compact. But for the beginning of this, just being able to house just like sleep that many people under a roof will be very helpful. And then having extra hands to throw down on building will make this all go faster. Underground community center, and then a longhouse feed hall. Love it. Okay. Okay. Some residences, good quality. Good/great
And of
quality
course,
even.
BBW will provide entertainment.
Yes, of course, of course.
Has to
Okay.
have it.
With that time spent, I want to take a small break, do a quick walkabouts, go to the bathroom, and then return. Because we're gonna get into. I'm still gonna ask questions here and there, but we're gonna get into a little bit of a monologue-y area. So I will
Oh, yeah.
return in just a few moments.
Cool.
Good. So might be a drink too. Pee.
No, we're taking a break.
Imagined. Literally just words right now. Play with a map space. Oh, and then we all need to do something fun too.
Very exciting.
What's Roy?
Hey.
And we're really getting into it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't know if I said last time, but I think we did the math in I think this episode, because before we were doing like 2.5 to 3 hour recordings, and so that turns into 2 episodes now because I'm just not fucking with it. No one wants to listen to 2.5 hours every other week. Like, that's so much. A movie every other week. You listen to like a little bit of it over time, and sure, you like get through the episodes, but you're not like smashing an episode when it comes out to 2.5 hours if you're busy, you know. So those have dropped down. Not that you're not, but you know, it's just better to be closer to like hour to hour and a half. So they've been being cut down, like split in the middle at a cool turn, and then you know the end of the session for the next episode is like end of session questions, because I always enjoy having that. So this episode is probably going to be like episode 25, which is pretty fucking cool. One, that's 25 episodes. That's a year's worth of content. Let's go. Two, that's one campaign down, and that's just neat. Neat. Welcome back. Now, welcome back.
So,
What's up?
Hi.
how goes?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We were watching the Try Guys do deep tissue massages. So like real painful, deep massages. And Eugene was like moaning the whole time. The one, you know, the
Classic.
one response to massaging. And they were making every employee listen to their responses. They put like a microphone and a speaker out in the lobby so that all of their employees could listen to this like horridness happening. And about halfway through, they were like laughing, you know, with Eugene or whatever, and he noted that he didn't realize that everyone was laughing because he was like moaning sexually to the massage, and he got like self-conscious, and so the next time he had to do it, he went, "Oh yes, I like that." And it was like so much fucking funnier. Oh my
This is an
god.
enjoyable feeling.
This is an enjoyable feeling. So good.
Thank you for doing this for me.
um Hell yeah. Okay, also, I need everyone to roll
No.
a D7. I hate that I did this too, but it is in fact a D7. So
I don't think I have that.
A
I
what?
but
no one has that. I
That exists?
know.
well, I'm already in roll 20, so
I know. I should
it's a
have
3
Should've.
for me, M.
Okay.
Here, I'll
Mine is
um
also a 3.
Roll, just roll a regular dice and flip a coin. If it's heads, add 1. If it's tails, don't.
But what
That's
about
a D7.
Boom.
1?
okay, that works. I don't have a coin with me, so I'll just
That
use
is
my
fun.
Uh
That's why the coin is 0
I
or
got
1.
3.
Mm.
you got a 3, you got a 3, you got a 3. Gabe, what did you get?
Is it
4.
a 3?
A
Oh.
4?
You son of a bitch.
Okay, I'm gonna that's
How dare you?
pretty
Gabe,
fantastic.
you die. That's wild.
You die.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Again.
you first time.
Okay, so it's going to be 3 to the east, 3 to the no wait, 3 to the north, east, southwest. So I will say those rolls could have only been a little bit better, and that's ideal. Okay, so let me just mark this on our little map-a-rooney. You guys were picking where the Delta was going to land.
Picking.
Yeah, deciding with all of the information where the Delta was going to land. And you've done it. And it is only about, it's only going to be, well, we'll see. I don't want to, that's boring. No, yeah, no, it's fine. I don't give a fuck. All right. Okay. So, as you folks have spent this time atop this planet, time seems to be going slow, right? The less you have to do, the slower time goes around you. You folks have been all sort of focused on one task at a time. The work mostly done your like beginning stages in a path that we don't really have laid out in front of us. We don't really know what, you know, say 5,000 if everyone is in perfect working order people need on landing, but we can only assume the best decisions. So this 2 weeks has gone kind of slow for us. But as you know, with life, the more that you have to do, the faster that time goes. And that becomes very evident for you folks over the course of time preceding this. Within the end of this 2 weeks, you get an indicator on your ship. You're all prepared and ready for this day to come. We'll say that work actually slowed around this day. Maybe there was about a day of nothing and just sort of waiting in anticipation on the ship for this signal. But finally, it does come. The slowest day, right? The waiting. But finally, it does come. And you are out in your ship far enough away to be certain that you're in safety, but can view what is going down. You at first see a star flicker into light and then grow in intensity and size as streaks of light begin to come out of space in front of you, forming a huge mass, the mass of the Delta Dawn. Its speed obviously slowing because it's coming into, form in front of you. So slowing greatly from the invisibility of light speed. And it yes, so it comes into form in front of you and slows greatly, but not entirely, as it continues forward, careening down and onto the planet. The Delta Dawn is pretty fucking big, so we're definitely going to be fudging some of this impact crater because this is a planet killer, right? Like the Delta Dawn crashing into the Earth, that is the end of the Earth.
Yeah,
There
but the
isn't.
Earth is rotating. Think about, did you factor that into your equation?
Good point. Um, but so we're fudging just a little bit of that as the, or maybe we don't have to. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Lawrence, in that as the Delta Dawn collides with this planet, you see an almost comical effect occur as the planet, like a little slingshot, like stretches a little bit out from the two holds of this station, and then slowly like fidget its way back into the center as it is still being held. And we'll say with that you can see like parts of this wider station actually break down a little bit from this massive amount of energy, and you knowing that its energy reserves are already at full, so it doesn't really have anywhere for these to go. You see large surges of electricity course through the station. You see maybe some of the plating smash and pop off in different places. It's still in its hold. The planet still stationary after it comes back to rest, but is obviously damaged from this sheer impact. But the planet remains intact, maybe because of this.
Thank goodness.
You
I'll take that any
see
day.
almost as in slow motion from up here the impact of the Delta Dawn on the continent below. The ripple of earth that stretches out from underneath of it. But as when you drop something heavy into water, no, it's not water, but as when you drop something heavy into water, the water splashes back up over the top of this object, creating that little ripple back to the center. And maybe it's the sheer impact force of the massive space station that is the Delta, and maybe it's the fact that it's held stationary in space, but as it hits, the Earth ripples up and out, creating this wave that crashes back down after converging a bit from it, crashes back down into the Delta Dawn, smashing apart most of the space station and sinking into the ground what is left above at that moment. You folks wait watching this sort of unnatural disaster occur as 10 ships come out of hyperspace behind it. You recognizing at least their builds. You've seen them aboard the Delta at some point, most of them. They note your ship, and slowly all of this squadron comes in for a landing. The Delta Dawn landed only about 50 miles south of the beacon. We'll say that the land around it has changed a- quite a bit, but not so vastly. You can see that it's now a much larger, like hill-like area. Some of the work in the town was destroyed, but with how sturdily you built the living residences, they are still intact. They might require some repairs, but even for this first night are entirely usable. The
Nice.
longhouse, the roof has caved in, but with again a little bit of work, the long feed house, you can at least clear it out for usage tonight. The pit exists. Whatever work you had done on a roof has caved in, but again, the pit exists. The plans for a community in place. Some of the farm work has become destroyed. Maybe you had tilled the fields. They're definitely going to need to be retilled. The lines are still
Dang it.
there. They're drawn, but they might need to be retilled at most. But I mean, other than that, right? Like, this has maybe scared wildlife off for a bit, but it will return. The wreckage is vast. It covers this entire plain area. Some of it has even gone into the wastes on either side or the forests to the north and south. A large tower remains in the center, the top peak of the Delta Dawn station.
Cinematic.
There is so this tower in the center, a little bit of the station is underneath of it, and some of the, most of the plating is like buried in the countryside about. The materials are here, but the station itself is destroyed. You wait. There is wreckage. You can see pieces of ships. You can see much of the market space, right? Like, whatever was in the market has been destroyed. You do see a few bodies. This was not a 100% clean crashing of a space station. And for a little bit of time, maybe about 10 minutes, as you and the members of the 10 ships that land beside you begin scoping out the wreckage, most centered around this main core of the Delta. A door is pried open on the front, and there is a line of folks inside that begin coming out. You can see behind them, or you get the idea through what they tell you, that behind them, the all power in the station just is gone, of course. But much of the station did actually survive underground, as the ground has compressed back in atop it. It's just a non-working elevator shaft that they are pulling people out of, the those that
Ah,
did survive. And as you folks begin to help, you notice that, I mean, a good 90% of people survived. Some casualties were
not bad.
expected. In fact, I think inevitable in an event as such, but being able to prepare so heavily for it and knowing what we were preparing for gave them the opportunity to do just that. The 10 ships that land, 3 are like storage cargo container ships, so they're a little bit bigger, but are mostly storage. The rest are basic cruise ships like yourself. All of them are loaded up as much as they can be with these supplies. None of them are at 100% capacity, but they are, no, actually I can say that they would be. They are loaded up to 100% capacity, because there's no reason that they would have, like, they're not hiding that this
Slippy
is a
would have raised
safe.
hell.
Yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, now I have a brief couple questions, and I think I'll ask each of you one of them, and then all of you one question. And that first question will be for Gabe. Gabe, the Delta Station is about 75 miles to the northwest of where you have begun planning this town. What do you think that means for your plans? What do you think that means for the Delta Station's frame in the ground? What do you think? How do you think the community moves in this path?
Um, well, in the short term, if people 75 miles is a ways, but we do have 11 ships. So I
Gotta
suppose we
unload.
all go down and we start trying to ferry survivors to the town, get them as settled as we can. If we're looking further into the future,
Yeah,
I
hit
think
me with how you
I
think they
think
go.
coming to the river is still the best idea. Um, So I think we pull stuff to the town, or we just load up the storerooms of our spaceships and we move things from the wreckage to the town to start more thorough construction. I think in the back of our minds, we consider like using the spaceship lasers to dig out a canal, um, so that we could start building closer to the wreckage and not have to do this ferrying thing
Mm-hmm.
forever. Um, but we still need water access, so we just need to dig a canal out there. That's a longer term project.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Okay. Okay. So the community begins its focus on over time moving, creating a settlement over there as well. Um
Yeah, City in the Shadow of the Wreckage is sort of the future plan.
okay. Okay. Um Lily, how do you think the wildlife of this area responds to this great impactful event? How do you think that it is impacted and it responds?
Hmm. I don't know shit about wildlife. I think that
Me neither.
But Carl does.
does he?
Carl might.
I think a large amount of animals that were native to the area around close to the base have moved away uh, for safety, but there's a number of them that are still relatively comfortable with people. What are some of the animals we've mentioned so far?
We have
Yeah,
the
the
pack
pack
rabbit,
rabbits,
the
they don't give a fuck about people. That's why you can hunt them
Yeah,
with your hands.
precisely.
Horrible.
let's
So
see, I
there's
keep clicking on flora. We have the giant sloth, the drop bear, we have the screaming drop bear, the pack rabbits, the ore-eating beetles, and the chicotees, the fucking nightmares on dog
Ugh.
legs.
so I think that on large part the Chakotys move off into the off kind of deeper off into the
Thank
forest,
goodness.
and that honestly kind of causes almost overpopulation of the other
Mmm.
things that we said.
Pack rabbits?
Yeah, the
Not for long.
too many
Not once I
names
get
going.
my hands on them.
Basically, they're starting to kind of overpopulate, so it's a good chance for sparking an industry.
Pack
I
punching.
love that population explosion. Uh, Dante, talk to me about the farms over the course of the next, pretty immediately the farmland begins being used. What are the two most important crops that our community puts their focus on? They can be natural crops that we know about, because we as humans know about them, or they can be, a fun fantastical crop, doesn't matter.
Space corn.
Space corn sounds amazing, actually. Bros. Bright purple, neon purple corn and potatoes.
And
Just plain
potatoes.
potatoes.
Fuck yeah, man. Space corn and potatoes.
These are the most important things we need to focus on. No famines happening today.
Okay. Lawrence, after the crashing of the Delta, a community makes itself known to us. Who are they and are they a danger?
A community makes themselves known to us. Uh, I think we have a doomsday cult in the ship. There's a group of maybe 12 of them that they foresaw the ship crashing before it happened because they're a doomsday cult, and so they're attributing those actions to their belief system. Are they a danger to themselves? Probably more than anything, but not particularly, I'd imagine.
Dang, that's wild. I had not thought about community aboard the Delta making themselves known. I like that. I like that. Sick. Okay. So perfect. With that in mind. As I said, with the passing of time, right? The more that you have to do, the faster it goes. And it is easy to lose track of time in a situation such as this, where you go from doing one thing that you think is right to having a laundry list of tasks that you can complete to aid your wider community. Your community is large, huge amount of people to have no buildings right to set down in. So like everyone sets to work instantly to make this happen. Actually, sorry, before I continue that, one more question, and that is it's going to be one for everyone. How do you think, like, what important role in the community going forward does your character fill? Be that training, hunting, merchants, building, any kind of role, really. It could be anything.
Slippy uses his expertise as the stealth officer and his familiarity with the local wildlife to teach the generations how to hunt, like the pack rabbits with your fists and the drop bears just with anything. Oh God, get it off me.
Perfect. Okay. Oh God, get it off me.
And all of this, of course, is in an attempt to, and he doesn't know. He might not know yet, but it's all to impress Carissa, whether they're on it or off again.
That is okay.
Yep.
Okay. Slippy trains the hunters. Love it. The other three?
Carl would like to train the carpenters by using his really incredible skills with a nail gun. You see, he can fire as many as in the clip and just really fill those boards as much as needed. And
just like
he
this.
gets houses up like nothing. It's insane. It's crazy.
It is so dangerous to train a crew of builders to build by shooting nails at the house. But I love it.
Rapidly.
This is just our society.
Trains
This is
your
just the way we
accuracy.
do it here.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay.
This is how traditions are made.
BBW Cola.
I think like I definitely want to keep upkeep on those potato farmers and the space corn.
Okay,
The
so
space
BBW
corn
works
is
on farming.
useful for mini cakes.
Okay, BBW farmers. Okay. Cola?
Pola takes on the ship group of Delta Scouts, who he immediately renames the Cola Scouts, and trains them in the ways of the wilderness, in how to catch fish with your hands, and how to
Very hands hunting society.
Yeah, no, it's a hands hunting society. We're gonna grab things with our mitts as long as the things trust us to do so.
See, I knew
Um,
I should have made that harpoon gun.
we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. But it's a wilderness survival hunting scout troop that swells in size under Cola's leadership, and they become true demons of the trees, while Cola watches proudly from his lawn chair.
Yes, the
Is
Cola
this
Scouts grow from 0 members all the way to dozens of members.
is this um a is this a children's organization or is this a all ages welcome organization? Like, is this like the Boy Scouts or is this like adult trackers? Because they have multiple, levels of being in scouting organizations
Um,
or wilderness organizations.
it definitely started as a children's organization. If enough adults came to Cola and said that they were feeling left out,
I want to have
um,
fun in the woods.
they want to grab fish with their hands. All right, sure, we're doing it. Kids, welcome your new juniors. Adults, these are your captains. They've got years under their belt. Learn from them. This is I guess it's a seniority organization. It's how long have you been here? How long have you put in?
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean,
Hmm.
the more experience you have, the more you can train others. Even if you're younger than them. Like, I imagine that Lucy's on board right away, and so like when the first
Oh
adults
yeah, no,
start joining, she's training adults.
Lucy is the actual like straight up the troop captain.
Yeah,
Uh
Uncle Tomblety, you have to do what Lucy says.
mhm.
So he's
Yeah,
groaning.
and they will like, you know, throw rocks at you if you don't listen to the captain. Not big
um,
ones, but like, you know,
Pebbles.
yeah, they'll it's symbolic.
Up to the mistake of a hand-sized rock once or twice. Um,
Yeah, no, we shut that down after the first time.
the
Now I go and I pick a bucket of rocks.
so yeah, the time begins to move much quicker as one we begin to process the wreckage in this landscape, use it to create building materials and begin building. Over the course of a few months, it becomes pretty apparent that two basically sister townships are beginning to be developed, not because of any schism or split in the community, but just because of you have like a portion of the community that wants to live nearby the what they feel is the safety of the Delta Tower and its underground structure. So they begin to use a lot of the sheet metal that they, grab and um, get. Jesus, that they harvest from the nearby landscape to begin building more sheet metal buildings. The sister city nearby the river in the alpine woods uses a mixture of these metals that they grabbed and the woods that Kola had processed before, plus they process now to build a more naturalized metal structured smaller city. Um, the city around the delta does grow to be a little bit larger in terms of its populace, like 3,000 to 2,000, we'll say. Um, but again, that's just due to the sheer e- effect of already having a place to live for more of these people in the structure that exists, so they can build out from there as they go. But these two sister cities do begin to crop up, and under the leadership and aid of the leadership of the Delta, and including you folks, the towns begin to be built rather fast. Farmland is tilled and um cropped, and within a few months we actually begin to see that happening, the farms beginning to be built. We have living quarters, and we're beginning storehouses and things like this to begin unloading the ships and making this more into a livable society. There around this time you begin to find various people, natives of the planet, begin to come out of the woodwork, quite literally, down from the mountains and out from the forests to the north. They are similar to humans in that their skin is fleshy. It ranges from sort of a pretty luminescent white all the way into a pitch black color. They mostly stay on the white scale in that they have two main pretty wide arms and then two smaller arms below those that seem to be more nimble. And there aren't a ton of them that come out of the woodwork, but over time, right, they begin to make up a population in your community, having things, food, shelter. They don't just bring with them, mouths to feed. They bring hands to work. They bring stories of their cities, stories of the automatons from the archons above wreaking havoc, seemingly without purpose in their cities, collecting any sorts of technology and power sources that they can and bringing them back to the mothership. So these cities are like sort of apocalypse now scenarios where the buildings are crumbling and you're dealing with like hiding from progressing robots. But these are not things we've seen, just stories being told to us by the native population that have begun to join us in our towns. As the months go on, time is going rapidly, right? Where crops begin to come up, buildings are done, we're beginning to begin like real street planning and like what other things do we need to build out? How can we begin providing comfort for our community members? Scouts in both organizations on being the hunters organizations or the Cola Scouts begin noticing and having scuffles with insectoid creatures that come out of the bushes, and the only thing that they have been able to draw with them in the few encounters that they have gotten is that um the arrival of their queen, Queen Chuch, is here
No.
No
to
way.
to get his just desserts. And that's the rough structure of the thing told to you by Chuch is owed something in this community, and they will get it. The scuffles have turned minorly violent, but they have been scared off with enough numbers. And every
That sucks for
time
you guys.
they seem to be running deeper and deeper into the wasteland, the burning wasteland to our east. Um,
Yeah, that's wild. I've never heard of Chuch though.
Honestly, we stand a he him queen.
and that is sort of the pacing of our time as the two sister cities begin to be built in the plains. We zoom in into the delta tower that remains, down into the elevator shaft and deep down into the station to see a room with destroyed fleshy walls and a being breathing shallowly but alive in the bottom. Kor picks himself up off of the wall and falls to the ground with a thud and a groan. You can see quicker than you would expect or maybe even feel comfortable with. You can see his flesh begin to knit below his waist and into something. It begins to knit out from the lower half of his torso. The shallow breathing remains. He doesn't pick himself up off of the ground, but he remains there. And we zoom out. We see Rake and Marjorie in the command bay, which is atop. We zoom up, I guess, the tower. Up the elevator shaft a few floors from the entrance. We see Rake and Marjorie. They've implemented some form of ladder, going over plans with the higher ups, Shaq, Bear, the four of you in the room, for widening these cities, beginning to protect them. We zoom out a little bit more and turn our attention to the surrounding area around the Delta Tower. We see these steel buildings that have cropped up in various ways. One looks like a market beginning to be used. In fact, we see steel walls being erected. About half of the steel walls are erected around a big entrance gate that has been crafted semi well. It is clearly a gate. It is not the best gate. You might imagine that you'll replace it when you have time, but it's best to have something as the walls get built. We can see the sister city doing its work to raise its walls. The community members in this area are living, they're thriving, and they are surviving. And the last thing we see as we turn towards the Delta Tower and out over the town is their sign that posted above the gate says, "Welcome to the city of Delta Down." And we fade black.
Hmm.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
That's
When
exciting.
Space will return again.
space will return again. We got joy and factions and threads set up and excitement brewing. And
Next time
this will
on
be
a
put on
planet.
the
Oh,
back
yeah.
burner for a long time, but you best believe the planning is happening.
Oh, we got a whole D&D game to play.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then this goes to the back burner.
So excited to unleash my character. He's so ready to be born.
So I don't know that we need
but
to
I
do
forgot
end of session questions. Um
I leveled up
Did
to
we
level
overcome
15.
Liverpool
Wow,
Eagle?
imagine that, guys. I got 45 XP.
still wouldn't be level 15 though.
I got
Oof.
7
I got
million
7
XP.
million XP. Bussin'.
I don't know how it happened.
We did it, and I took
It's
as
because I
many
got the
notes
good
as I
ending.
could. I will say that
Mm.
on a lot of this, so I'm beginning to work this into a playable module, and working on all these classes. And I was thinking through the I'm gonna heavily suggest that whatever DM makes up their own planets and their own missions, but if they want to run like a module, I'm gonna give them the module that we've played to the most part. And I'm thinking about like a lot of these missions that you guys have done, and in all of them, like the enemies are gonna have stat blocks and health totals, and you guys did not. You guys did the good ending on most of the missions, like to the best of the good ending capability. You know what I mean?
We did remove Carissa's hands, which
That
is
one wasn't that
regrettable.
one. Yeah, that's why most
That's
of them.
honestly, that's pretty
But
regrettable.
like you figured out a way to like move the lava worm away. You didn't kill it. You figured out a way to like push the bandits away. You might have fucked with one of them, but you didn't like wholesale slaughter the bandit crew just for like
Took their shoes.
you got their shoes. But like you guys did the good outcomes, and it's interesting. Like I don't think that will be the it's set up to fight. You fight the thing, you kill the lava worm, and maybe the situation is solved. But it's like, I don't know. You guys did more and narratively interesting things, so I think it's interesting the way that it'll sit in a module.
Honestly, the Mr. Blood mission is a classic.
I enjoyed that one.
Definitely.
That's a good one.
Editing.
That's my favorite arc probably.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
That
that
was
was
for me like most memorable.
Yeah. The Blood arc was our only, I would say, like real full of its own arc. Like the first two were kind of like warm up missions and figuring out how to play and what we were doing, and then Blood's arc was like really playing with things. Um, yeah, yeah, interesting. Um, Sick. Are there any? Is there anything we need to talk about for Monster of the Week coming up, Lawrence?
Not really. You know, honestly, once people decide on classes, that's really all we need to know. I don't know if it'll be next week because I'm moving in like 4 days. So that'll probably take up a lot of my time.
Yeah, let me
But
look at my
within the week
schedule.
after that, I can imagine
That's
I will
fine. I
have
have
done
an
all my
appointment
planning.
next week.
Okay, so
But yeah,
yeah, I
just pick a
mean,
class. We can just shoot me a text or message me on whatever, and we can finalize classes and characters. That's pretty much all that we'll need.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
Other than
yeah.
that, we'll do a quick little setup monologue, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome, awesome. At some point in the future, we might do a session where we do a sort of breakdown of this game, Dungeon World. Talk about what we like, don't like, mechanically interests us, whatever that is, just to like do the other half of enjoying all these role-playing games and like talking about like what makes them fun or playable or
The Adventure Zone.
kind of, yeah, a breakdown of our campaign and the game we played. Yeah, would be neat. We're not like answering audience questions or anything because we don't have those, but we are.
We could
You
answer
know.
audience questions asked of other podcasts.
I do
Or
kind of
from
like that. That's funny.
anonymous users.
That's pretty fucking funny. Go through and find a bunch of questions asked of other podcasts. That's pretty good.
We found a question
This
that we're just going
question
to answer.
was for the Adventure Zone, and they asked, Lawrence, I think you could answer this one. What are Taco's insights on? God damn it. Okay, well, not that one. Anyway, I think that's a funny idea, and might be implemented, but yeah, GG's, guys.
Hell yeah.
Well gamed.
Another one in the belt.
Damn.
Good
We
campaign.
did the galaxy.
We saved our little pocket.
So, end of game milestones. What character do you think walked the most?
Slippy. Oh no, actually Carl. So I'm taking
Every
8
step
steps
is
every
8,
time you guys
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
I walked way
I
more
really
than
hard to beat. What character fell into the most traps?
not Slippy.
Fell
He's
quite
never
literally
tried.
BBW,
Definitely
I
not
think.
Slippy. I'm gonna say BBW because he got captured and thrown out on a rope several times.
Went
That was
out
us,
went out
though.
on a
Wait.
rope several times.
Is it a trap if it's your own crew?
He fell.
The trap was joining the crew in the beginning.
part
What
you're about to know he's
character
making a
ate the
call.
most food?
Not BBW.
Lucy.
Lucy. Okay.
Hands down, Lucy. But I would say that
And what
BBW's food was more impactful.
and what character death made you the saddest?
God damn it.
That guy I threw off a building.
It was Chutch until about 20 minutes ago. Yeah. Yeah, Chutch. Sick. GG's, y'all. That was a good campaign. I'm excited to return to something new. I'm excited for both these campaigns. I have very fun ideas for Monster of the Week and for D&D, so I'm
Be a
very
fun little
excited to
time.
see how 4 wildly quirky characters come together.
That should be real interesting.
It's just such an easy canon explanation as to why the mystery gang would be here. It's just so easy. 40K is so dumb. Literally everybody just be the dumbest, most quirky characters you could possibly be. We'll make it make sense. It literally doesn't matter. Such a cartoony universe.
It's good because I might just be playing the cyber Scooby Doo.
Yeah, you'll be Cyber Scooby Doo. M's a vampire. What else do we got?
Yeah.
BB2.
BB2. Another robot.
BB22. I love it. BB22.
You know, it'll be called BBC.
God. Wait. Is it Big Bud
Zippy.
Collie?
Big Bud Collie. That's him.
Big Bud Carl.
Big Bud Cock.
Whoa. Whoa. No one think about cock until you said
Big
it,
Bang
bro.
and Bimpus.
That's funny as fuck. Okay. Well, tight. Good session, I think, on that note.